What's going on, Wacky Cat? Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. The FTC tried to stop Microsoft from acquiring Activision. And looks like, allegedly, the courts said, nah. They can get it if they want to. So Activision may be next in line to be bought by Microsoft. The game is changing. People are trying to figure out why did Microsoft buy Bethesda? Why are they trying to acquire possibly these other game developers? It's pretty simple. It's a necessity. I think it's smart for them to do that because the game landscape has changed. Reality is hitting everybody right now because everyone sees Starfield is exclusively to the Xbox and PC, Windows. And Sony and the other guys, I ain't getting it. Reality is sinking in that Activision may be up for grabs. Because like the $1 Million Man said, everyone has a price. That won't just a wrestling line. That's the real talk. You say the right number, hey, anything can happen. So what's going to happen next? I think we all know, have a pretty good speculation what's going to happen next. Now listen to me. This has to happen. In my opinion, Microsoft is doing the right thing. You know why? Let me tell you why. I said this in one of my last videos. Don't you notice that there's a lot of video games? There are so many video games right now that is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know which game to play. I don't know which game is good. Some of them look good. Some of them look bad. Retro gaming. There are tons and tons of video game out the wazoo. Indie companies are making video games, pretty good video games. So many companies. Everyone's trying to get the action with these video games. It's unbelievable. That's a good thing, right? Yes and no, if you ask me. Because let me tell you something. There was a gaming crash many years ago. You know why the gaming crash happened? Because it was a fluctuation of video games, meaning there was too many video games. When you have too many video games, in my opinion, you just have undecisive people, and people just don't know what to do. Game Pass is revolution, and it's changing gaming. Game Pass came right on time because this is the time where everyone is making a video game. So what you do is that you be smart like Microsoft. And I mean, it's good smart. I'm not being sarcastic. You be smart like them. And you get all the video games. You can pick and choose however they do it. Sign contracts. I don't know how they do it, and put your video game on that platform, and your game may be more likely to play rather than just having a whole bunch of video games and going to the store and just saying, wow, all these video games, which one do I buy? I don't know which one to buy. Your video game, if you're an indie gamer, indie video game developer, and you're just starting out, your game, hate to say it, may never ever be played that way. If you was to take your video game and put it in a store with thousands of other video games, you put it on Game Pass, and everyone can just sit from the comfort of their home and buy the game like that. This is the future, man. I don't care what nobody says. I believe this is the future. Listen, there are so many great games on Game Pass that I would have never played. Indie games that I would have never played if it wasn't on Game Pass. Games that I don't even look at them, I'm like, this ain't interesting, but hey, I'm paying a monthly fee. I'm sitting on my couch. I'm not doing nothing. I like that little scene on the little cut scene right there. Let me just install this and test it out. And if I don't like it, I'll just uninstall it. That's all you got to do. So the future of gaming is basically, and this is just all my opinion, all my speculation. Disclaimer, all my opinion, all my speculation. The next few years from now, I'm just seeing a bunch of games on streaming services, and it's going to possibly be exclusive streaming services. There's going to be other. I mean, there has been streaming services before Game Pass that tried to, but it wasn't ready yet. We wasn't ready for that type of paid services yet. This is the right place, the right time. Activision, possibly they may go through it. You know, if doesn't anything else try to stop it, Microsoft may buy Activision and possibly more developers and put it on possibly Game Pass, and now you have a whole new. This is just the reality, and it's the smart thing to do. Now everyone gets to have that game played because a lot of, I mean, that's just too many video games. If Game Pass and streaming gaming services or whatever wasn't here, I honestly believe, and it's just my opinion, that we will have another gaming crash because it's just too many video games. It's way too many video games. And now it's getting to the point that the AAA video games are not even that good. I mean, some of them are flopping. They're not, expectation is high, and I said this before, that even the pixelated, people making games, pixelated characters again with the Xbox Series X. And guess what? Some of us like it. So now I don't have to take a chance of going to a store, picking from thousands of games, which one I like. I can test them out. To me, Game Pass is just a big place where you just play video games and you can test the video games and you can find games that you might not like at all, but you can find diamond in the roughs, games that you absolutely adore, play for hours and hours. So I'm like, there are at least 5 games on Game Pass that if I would have saw these games in a retail store, I would have never bought them or played them at all. I was like, man, I'm not playing. This game looks stupid. I play it, install it on Game Pass because I'm paying a monthly fee. Boom, playing the game for hours. So like, wow, this game is pretty good. Vice versa. There's some games I can't wait to play. Oh, this game looks awesome. Play it and it ain't all that good. Game Pass is the future of gaming. Game services are the future. It's a necessity. It has to happen. Some people don't like it, but it's the reality. I'm a realist. I'm being real about it. This is how I thought about it for a while. I'm like, man, this ain't right, man. They're buying all this. This possibly happened. I don't like the way because I like physical copies of video games. I'm a millennial, 80s baby, born in 86. You best believe I used to go in the Blockbuster, Movie Time, Movie Gallery. Oh, I want that, mommy, daddy, boom, 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 boom. Get that game, test it out, take it back. But it wasn't that many video games. It was now it's an overwhelming amount. And not to mention, this culture of gamers are into retro gaming. That means we continue to play the old games. Back when I was a kid, once that old game got old, we ain't really play it no more. But now we're in a whole new era where we want to play the old game. We got one-up arcades. We got arcades in the house. People are making games look like retro games. Overwhelming type of stuff. So to prevent the overwhelmingness, you get a Game Pass. Now, I believe right now we're in the middle phase, the early phase of this new era that I'm talking about of streaming services. We at the phase where people got Game Pass and PlayStation, because it's not just Game Pass. You got PlayStation. They got their own service too. You can monthly fee with games. So it's not just it's not just them. But we're at the early phase where people are still buying retail games at the store. It's like me. I'm still now, even though I'm telling all this, I'm still buying physical games. But it is helping not overwhelm us too much by streaming services, because imagine not having streaming services at all. All the games are ever made right now, that's being made. You go into a retail store and you see the wall. It's going to be a great big wall of video games. And you see stores are consolidating their video game aisles. The video game aisles ain't that big. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, there used to be tons of people. It was Toys R Us, all types of stores. Kids used to be playing the video. There used to be kids everywhere looking at the new video game, at the physical copies at the store, looking at through the case, KB toy stores. Some of y'all whippersnappers don't know what I'm talking about. Looking like, oh, I want that, I want that. Testing the game. They had the little games you could test. Go to a store now. The store, nobody's looking at the case like talking about. Nobody's staring at there's no more game. Everybody's at home digitally downloading or getting their game up installed with a video game service. That's the future. I mean, I'm gonna miss those days, but those days won't gonna last forever. So we're at the early stage again, where people are doing both. But I believe, and it's going to be a little sad when it happens, but my prediction is pretty soon there's not going to be any more physical copies of games. We're just going to have the streaming services, and you're still going to have the digital. You can buy digital, but it's not going to be, I think it's going to be consolidated to just online. You're just going to buy online. And it's going to be a sad day. And a lot of us not going to like it. And at first, I kind of rejected the idea, but I have to be real where this is headed. We can all see where this is headed now. Once the court allegedly, I don't even really have to say allegedly for real at this point, the FTC tried to stop it, allegedly. I said it again, and the court said, no, go ahead and go ahead and buy it. Go ahead and do what you want to do, Microsoft. Now, once that happened, I think we all know where this is headed. And I think this one thing that's happening here possibly will single-handedly change the gaming landscape. It's no point to try to fight it at this point. It's just the reality. And listen, I'm no Xbox fanboy. I'm no Microsoft fanboy. And I said this in many of my videos. The majority of my childhood, the majority of being a teenager, I've had Sony everything. PlayStation this, PlayStation that. I know PlayStation ain't happy. I don't think they would be happy of these different Bethesda having Starfield not they're not happy with that, possibly. But the reality is, it's happening. And like I said, I had PlayStation everything. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to get to 6. I'm still a PlayStation. And I'm not saying this, PlayStation is going anywhere or nothing like that. But I'm just saying Xbox is their time to. They're taking over. It look like. I don't want to call it a takeover, but I don't know what else you want to call it. If your favorite developer is on Game Pass, then what you going to do? Bethesda, one of my favorite. Bethesda and Rockstar are my two favorite game developers of all time. I would have never imagined in a million years, and it really didn't hit me when it happened, that Microsoft would actually buy Bethesda. I didn't. But now reality, like I said, is hitting us, and it's still kind of like shocking. I don't think it's really that Elden Scrolls, the new Elden Scrolls game, when it comes out, may possibly be strictly Xbox, possibly. Speculation. Starfield, strictly Xbox. One of my favorite game developers. Now my Rockstar is my next game developer, my favorite game developer. What's up with them? What the possibilities? Everyone has a price. $1 Million Man. He heard what he said. When you start putting billions and multi-billions and throwing them at these game developers and throwing them at these companies, it's kind of hard to say no. Especially when the game developers see the landscape changing. Do we stay here and possibly make less money? Or do this company is trying to buy us for billions of dollars? We got to go think about this. What would be better? For us to tank possibly in the next 10 years, or to live on, but let Microsoft acquire us for billions of dollars. Like I said, I believe it's about survival at this point. But these are all speculations, but I don't even know if I can just say speculations at this point. I don't have no problem with this. At first I did. I honestly was like, man, this ain't fair, but life ain't fair, man. This is just the reality of it all. This is just the writing on the wall. This was bound to happen. I believe if this didn't happen, if these gaming services, I believe if these companies didn't buy these other companies and acquire these companies, I believe the gaming industry will be in big, big trouble. I believe the gaming industry would be in huge trouble if the moves that certain people are making didn't make them. I honestly believe that. So everyone's, mad, confused and don't understand why is this happening. Everyone's trying to stop this, but I don't know. I don't know. All speculations, though, from me. This is well, not much to speculate about, but all my opinion. Hey, it is what it is. But like Goldberg said, got the Goldberg poster right there. Who's next? Who's next? Wacky Cat. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'm out.